Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm a little unprepared for this. I did not know I could use Streamlabs to actually record stuff. Somehow I missed that button. But anyway, because I'm evolving into more of a kind of a news report channel, and occasionally, and will report on news that personally interests me, um, I decided to make a video on this. Valve just opened up an official Twitter account like nearly 20 minutes ago to announce a new Half-Life game. It's not Half-Life 3, unfortunately. No, calm your tits. It's not Half-Life 3. It's a game called Half-Life Alyx. And what it seems to be is it says right here that it's their. I know it might be hard to see because of low quality, but it says right here that um, it's their flagship VR game, and people are seem to be generally excited for it. For the most part, some other people are of course not excited for this because they're like, I don't own a VR headset, which is perfectly understandable. You know, it's one thing to own a high-end gaming PC. It's another thing to have to also own another piece of hardware. It is possible that maybe they'll release a non-VR version, maybe because they did say that they would in the announcement they made last year. They said that there would be uh, they're both making VR and non-VR games. It's not sure if any of those will, cross over to be both a VR and non-VR game. I have seen VR and non-VR games before. I think the Talos of sorry, I am unprepared for this. It's called Talos of the Talos Principle. That's what it is. The Talos Principle has a VR and a non-VR version, and so does Duck Season, which has a VR and non-VR version. The VR version obviously being more expensive because there's a lot more time that goes into making a VR game than a non-VR game. So yeah, so I'm saying it is possible for them to do the same, for Valve to do the same thing and make a non VR version of this game. I am generally excited. I do want to see gameplay of what it is, but I do already have a pretty good idea of what it is. What I think it is personally, the title's called Half-Life Alyx. Alyx is obviously a character in Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2. So it's possible. I think it's more than possible that this is going to take place during, before, during, or after Half-Life 2. So technically, if it took place after, it would technically be our Half-Life 3. But no, I have a strong feeling based off the title alone that it's going to be exactly like Doom VR in the same sense. If you've never seen gameplay of Doom VR, Doom 2016 and Doom VR are two completely different games. They're two different stories. They're two different campaigns. I was kind of hoping that Doom VR would have been a full Doom game just in VR, but it's still really good for what it is. So anyway, back to the point. That's the vibe I'm getting from this title, is that it's going to be like Doom VR, where it's a separate storyline from Half-Life 2, taking place either before, during, or after Half-Life 2, and as of course Alex Vance. Honestly, there's honestly not much more to say about this. I do genuinely hope that there is a non-VR version for more people for the people without VR to still be able to play this. Of course, I obviously do have a VR headset. I've said about it many times. I own a VR headset, and you bet your ass, as soon as this comes out, I'm probably going to stream it. Shameless plug in my own video. I know. You just came here to say the news. Here it is. New Half-Life game. Not exactly Half-Life 3. I'm still genuinely excited. I hope that there's a non-VR version for people who don't own a VR headset. And I also strongly believe that it is going to be like Doom VR, where it's a separate storyline obviously in the same universe, either taking before, during, or after Half-Life 2. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna have to wait till Thursday until fucking we get more news. If it's just like some kind of simple news post, and they give you a link to the website to say, oh, here's everything about Half-Life Alyx that we're going to reveal. If it's a simple news post, I will obviously make an update to this. If it's an actual stream, they're actually going to stream, like have sort of a little E3 presentation of this game where they're going to stream the game and talk about it. I will do my own stream of it to kind of do just a reaction and react to it. There's one other thing to be said here, though. It is very exciting that Valve actually made their own Twitter account, because it means that if we're going to get this as an announcement, think about how many more games in the future we're going to get as an announcement. I feel Valve is officially back, although not as strong as they once were, because we're not really getting that Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3 we wanted. But it is safe to say that Valve is officially back, and I am excited to see what more stuff they announce. As long as they don't announce any more fucking card games.